What's up, guys? Drone worship in your face, and today we're going to talk about the best hobby grade drone ever produced. But there's one problem: they don't produce it anymore. Stick around. What's up, guys? I'm Drone Worship. It's your first time here. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button and the like button to keep up with future content. So, you're a YouTuber, or you're just in the hobby, you want to have some fun, you just got into this, bang for your buck. What's the best drone that's going to produce at least 1080 at 30 frames per second, accomplish most of your needs, be very simple and easy to fly and use at a price point that's affordable? And the answer to that is the Bebop 2. So you say, well, Drone Worship, what's the deal? They're so expensive now, I can't find them anywhere. You would not be incorrect. Unfortunately, Parrot has decided to discontinue making the Bebop 2, which I feel is a gigantic mistake. For those of you that know about the Bebop 2, these are such fantastic machines. No gimbal. It's all done through Linux-based stabilization. You can look down, you can look up. I mean, you can stare at the sky, you can stare all the way underneath you, and it looks like it has a fixed camera. It shoots in 1080 at 30 frames per second or 720. It has 2G and 5G. It can be operated with strictly just your cell phone. If you buy the Parrot power batteries, you get approximately 25 to 27 minute flights. It is such an absolute awesome machine. No obstacle avoidance for those of you that are going to worry about that simple stuff. It does have sonar and optical flow sensor on the bottom, which works fantastic, might I add. But not only is this a great beginner drone, this has very, very sophisticated features if you really want to dabble with the open source side of what the Parrot Bebop 2 can do. This has an LTE unlimited range mod that you can do to it that has a walkthrough that's about 35 minutes long that will teach you how to get this connected through cell phone towers as opposed to using Wi-Fi or OcuSync or Lightbridge technology or OcuSync 2.0. This can actually function on LTE data connection just like the Parrot Disco. So it sets itself apart from a lot of the other drones that are on the market today. The Bebop 2 has many features like the Big Brothers, DJI, Unique, all that stuff. You get all the digital tracking, throw and go mode where you just take it, you chuck it, it automatically detects it's been thrown, it starts flying. It is such a wonderful machine. If you have never, and I keep repeating myself, if you have never experienced one of these machines, you should. Take the opportunity, take the time, see if you can find a deal or a bargain. They used to be about $220 at Christmas time refurbished. You know, it was a $500 drone when it first came out. Unfortunately, there are Bebop 2s out there, but the price has unfortunately skyrocketed back up into that $375, $450 range again. It's really hard to find these things refurbished for even a decent price anymore, but if you get the opportunity to get your hands on one for a good price, I would say go for it. In my mind, knowing the amount of capability that the Bebop 2 has, I would never question myself on the purchase again. That is a drone I would definitely spend $500 on anytime again. Hands down, no questions asked. The ability to modify, and not only that, guys, if you download a third-party app like AR Pro 3 or one of those apps and you apply it to the drone and use it with your cell phone, you open up an entire new amount of features available to you, including some of probably the best waypoint missions I have ever seen to date in a hobby-grade drone. AR Pro 3 is, sorry, they're mowing the lawn outside right now. AR Pro 3 is a third-party app. I believe the cost... Yeah, the fun of making a video. I'm not even going to cut that out. We're just going to keep rolling. Apparently they decided to start mowing our lawn when I started this video. So back to the topic here. AR Pro 3, fantastic app. Absolutely amazing. I wouldn't second guess myself on the purchase. I would do it all over again if I had the same opportunity. And I gotta tell you, it has some very sophisticated features that the Bebop 2 can do. Now, it does have the ability to tune it. Not only that, you can do flips, rolls. It has FPV mode, which allows you to fly really fast and bank into the turns, and it'll make it look just like a race drone, kind of. It'll give you that lean factor when you go through turns and stuff. It is a one-of-a-kind drone, just like my old 3DR Solo. It is one of those types of fantastic birds, which unfortunately isn't being produced anymore. So y'all should get on the phone and contact Parrot and be like, start making the Bebop 2 again, or give us a Bebop 3. This is stupid. Why'd you guys ever discontinue this drone? It's so fantastic. It's amazing. We've talked about a lot of the good stuff. We're going to get into the cons now. I think the first con is self-evident. They don't make it anymore. It's getting a lot harder to find, get parts for it, all that stuff. It's definitely a lot harder to get your hands on. The controllers have all gone up in price. You can use that with the Sky Controller 1 and the Sky Controller 2 or the LTE mod, or you can just fly it with your cell phone. I would not suggest the Bluetooth controllers. A lot of people do that. It's really not a smart idea. Bluetooth and Wi-Fi don't get along, so you're a lot more, in danger zone of losing your drone due to a flyaway because of Bluetooth interference with Wi-Fi. That being the case, that is definitely the first con, is that they don't make it anymore. It's been discontinued, basically. Whatever's left is what's left. Number 2, even though it's got a really decent Linux-based stabilization software on this, and I'll show you guys that before the end of the video so you can see how crazy this really is. how good the stabilization software built into this actually is. Most of these come with what we call a blur point or a blur factor, because it's 1080p at 30 frames per second zoomed in on a 180 degree lens with 14 megapixels. So normally the footage that you're staring at the center of the screen will actually be the clear point, and everything else kind of around the outside of it, based on the stabilization software that's been adapted to it, will look a little blurry. Really depends on the lighting. Sometimes you get really lucky and it's really clear, but a lot of times you will end up with some outside blurred footage. There are fixes for that. Once the fix is done though, there is no going back. So there are pros and cons to that fix, but that being the case, unfortunately the camera may sometimes offer you a little bit of blurry footage. So something to think about. And of course, last but not least, these are not good in cold weather, unfortunately. 99% of the people say that if you go from indoors where it's warm and then you go outdoors to where it's cold, unfortunately the lens will get foggy. However, I would think a remedy for that would be to take out your battery and leave it in your vehicle and just let the drone sit outside for 10 minutes before you fly it. And I think that will probably solve your problem. But now remember, you're giving up 10 minutes before you can fly to wait for the lens to not fog up during flight. So you want to make sure this is cold. The other major problem is that the fan is right here on the back, in the back of the unit, and this thing actually produces a considerable amount of heat. So I think if it's really cold, it will definitely affect the fog on the lens. So something to think about. As you guys can see, this is the best hobby grade drone, in my opinion, of all time. This is not used for commercial work, but if you are running a YouTube channel or social media or just getting into the hobby, this is the drone I would suggest if you can get your hands on one. This is fully functional using just your cell phone with touchscreen controls, and it works very, very well. Full follow me features, full target lock system. This has a lot of the features of the big boy. It has been out for almost 5 years now. It has had a ton of people dabbling in the project. There are a multitude of third-party apps that work for this. This is one of the best hobby grade drones ever produced, in my opinion. It paved the way for a lot of the stuff that we see today. It is such an amazing drone. Parrot, if you're listening, this is one of the best products you have ever produced, and I wish you would go back to producing this or give us a Bebop 3. Please, we beg you, give us a Bebop 3. The Anafi's great, but we liked this hobby grade drone. We want to see more of this kind of stuff at a reasonable price point with a few upgrades. I'm Drone Worship. If you guys like my opinion, like my views, like what I had to say, don't be afraid to drop a subscription. I'll catch you guys on the flip, man. Drone Worship from somewhere in beautiful Tampa, Florida. To the view.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.